Have you ever felt like you're surrounded by people, yet still feel deeply alone or lost? Or maybe you've wondered why some relationships seem to effortlessly thrive while others just seem to struggle? What if I told you the key to building deeper, more authentic connections already lies within you in the form of your unique gifts and superpowers that you may not even realize that you have? So today I want to dive into this topic that, it's really close to my heart. I love talking about it, and that's building deeper, more authentic relationships using your gifts and superpowers. My name is Jake Talbert. I'm the founder and chief giver over at the GIVER Method. If you're new here, let me just introduce you real quick to what the GIVER Method is. So welcome. The GIVER Method is an acronym. GIVER is an acronym for helping people to identify their gifts and superpowers. The I is for influence. Who are the right people we can have influence on to make impact and be intentional with? The V is for value. How do we create vivid value and deliver value in a way that we can do it without asking for anything in return? E is engagements. So those engagements, interactions, discussions you have, how do we make them as effective and eager as possible? Now, when you do this, a couple things are going to happen. On this topic, it's going to help you have deeper, more meaningful relationships and connect with people more in what we call relationship riches. But it also helps you to develop yourself in a way that you can step into who it is you're meant to be, and you can make a greater impact in the world. You can make a greater impact in your sphere of influence that you do have. Now, I also found that when people develop their gifts and superpowers and give them in this way, that the universe has a way of paying them back. Now, it may not be every time that they're getting it, but there's always a way the universe pays you back. So I encourage everybody to develop these, not only so that we can dive deeper into this idea of building deeper, more meaningful relationships, but so that you can make that greater impact on the world and invite the universe to pay you back. Now, before we dive in here, I want to make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, like the video, comment your thoughts along the way, and at the very end, share this with maybe someone you feel may need it. I don't want you to miss out on any of the content that is going to help you to unlock your potential and really become a true giver. So as I'm sharing these 8 things, principles, ideas on how to build deeper relationships using gifts, superpowers, and the GIVER Method, I want you to make sure that you can take action. So after I share some of those details about the principle, I'm then going to give you an action item that you can put into practice as soon as possible. I highly recommend that you grab a piece of paper or open up a note and that you jot down what these action items are, because remember that simply watching the video isn't the thing that's going to make the impact. It's putting these principles into practice as soon as possible. So let's dive into it. Let's explore how we use this idea of the GIVER Method to build deeper relationships through these different ideas and principles that we have. The first one is all about vulnerability, which is opening up and sharing your true thoughts and feelings and experiences with others. When you start to let that guard down, you're inviting others to do the same, creating this safe space of mutual trust and allowing for a deeper connection. Now, vulnerability is not a weakness, but having the courage to show your authentic self, including your imperfections and your struggles. By being more open about your fears and challenges, you give others permission to be real with you, fostering a real relationship based on honesty and trust. So vulnerability, that's going to allow others to see you as relatable and genuine, which really strengthens the bonds that you share together. Now, through the GIVER Method, we view vulnerability as a part of developing your superpowers because it leads to being more authentic and lasting connections. When you show your true self, you're offering a powerful gift, inviting others to know you at a deeper level. Now, at the same time, this can show up in all sorts of ways. I remember a time when I was struggling with what we were doing at work and knowing what the vision was and where we were going. And we were in a meeting and I was like, guys, I don't get it. This seems really dumb what we're doing. I don't know why we're doing it this way. And here's my concerns and here's that. And, a lot of times people would say, you said this is a dumb thing we're doing to your, the owner of your company. And he actually said, I love that thought. And then others were able to start opening up about the same thing. And we actually changed what we were doing based off just this one thought of me being vulnerable. Be like, I'm concerned about what we're doing and where we're going, which had an impact on every person on our team. So what I want you to do as an action item this week is I want you to choose one relationship where you want to be more vulnerable, share something about yourself that you usually keep hidden. It could be a fear, a dream, a struggle you're facing, and notice how vulnerability impacts the connection. You may want to ask advice from them on this thing, because people then jump into wanting to help you, which also creates that deeper connection, deeper relationship. The second principle is like combining two things that I cover in the Giver Method book a lot, which is going to be coming out in a month, or be able to pre-purchase in a month, be out live in 2 months. And that's the principles of active listening and empathy. Like, it's not just about hearing words, but fully engaging with the other person without judgment. Active listening, like, it means you have the complete attention and genuinely seeking to understand the thoughts, feelings, and experiences of the other person. And when you add empathy to that, you connect on a deeper level, because you're not just responding to what they said, but you're really tuning into the emotions behind the words. And this kind of listening, it really does build trust. It shows respect, and relationships become deeper, making the other person feel truly heard and understood. Now, like I said, in the book, The Giver Method, empathy is one of those most powerful skills you can have that you want to make sure you're developing and working on in order to become a giver and a true impact maker. And so as you actively listen and show genuine concern for others, you create this environment where there's a more meaningful, authentic connection. Like, I say a lot in my videos, and if you've watched multiple videos, you probably are sick of hearing me talk about it, but one of my superpowers is breaking down complex ideas into simple solutions. And I used to think it meant that I always needed to offer a solution, but sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just to simply listen and empathize with the person. So the action item here is going to be for your next conversations this week, whatever. Focus entirely on the listening and the empathizing with them. Don't think about what you're going to say next. Just really be present and try to understand the other person's perspective. After, reflect on how this changed the quality of that interaction. Now, the third principle, we've already kind of hinted at it. It's this idea of authenticity. It's about being your true self in all your interactions, showing up as the real you with your strengths and imperfections. Authenticity invites others to drop their own masks, their own walls, their own whatever the thing may be, and be genuine, creating a space for deeper connection and for you to thrive. When you're authentic, you're building trust and fostering relationships that truly are rooted in honesty and mutual respect. Being authentic means living in alignment with your own values and expressing who you truly are, which invites richer, more genuine interactions with those around you. I used to think that I needed to be, I need to present this perfect version of myself to the world, but I found that the more authentic I was about who I am and my struggles and my imperfections, it actually draws people in closer. The action item here then is going to be to identify one area of your life where you've been holding back your true self, and just take one small step forward, showing more authenticity that, in that area this week. Now, the fourth thing, Giver Method, we can't talk about giving your gifts and superpowers and providing value to others. So the fourth is about using those unique gifts and superpowers and adding value to the relationships. Now, this is where we shine. So each of us possesses very distinct strengths and talents, whether it's creativity, problem solving, empathy. I heard a great one yesterday that was, that they're a dreamer, and that they can dream big and make those dreams become a reality. So whatever those things may be, use those, because they can be used to enrich the lives of those around you. When you tap into your superpowers and offer them selflessly, like I said, without asking for anything in return, you're really going to strengthen the bonds and foster deeper connections. It's not about grand gestures, but rather the small, meaningful ways that you can make a difference, how you show up in those situations. Now, consistently showing up with your gifts, you become a source of support and inspiration to others, and in turn, relationships, become deeper, they flourish. So adding value with your gifts, it not only enhances the relationship, but it gives you a sense of fulfillment, knowing that you're contributing to others in a way that is truly authentic and uniquely you. For example, I talked about this idea of my gift, one of my gifts being simplifying those complex ideas. It's become a way for me to support friends, family, even outside of what I do for work, but also for me to create amazing opportunities in networks that I'm a part of for work. And so by helping people break down their challenges, I'm able to deepen our relationship. The action item here, so go ahead and write down your top 3 gifts or superpowers. And for each of them, think of a way that you could use it to add value to an important relationship in your life. Now, Number 5 is about consistency and trust building. So building deeper relationships, like I said, it's not about the big grand gestures. It's about occasional moments of effort. It's not about grand gestures or occasional moments of effort. It's about showing up regularly and being dependable and nourishing that trust over time. Small, consistent acts of kindness or attention have a far greater impact than the sporadic days of affection or support that you may have. I know this. I've learned this the hard way after being married for 19 years. Maybe it took 19 years to figure out. So consistency creates a sense of reliability and stability in your relationship. When people know that they can count on you, it really does deepen that trust, which strengthens that connection. So it could be as simple as checking in regularly or offering support or being there for them when it matters most. And over time, these steady actions are going to build a foundation that is just going to create a lasting relationship. Like, it's through these continual efforts and deeper, more authentic connections, the deeper, more authentic connections are created. I learned that the hard way. I used to think that occasional big efforts were enough, and I found that the small, consistent acts of giving that really do strengthen the relationship, and over time, especially giving and showing the attention and those sort of things. So the action item here is going to be to choose one relationship that you want to improve and commit to a small act of giving or connection each day for a week. It may seem maybe simple as sending a message or asking how their day went, or just doing that little thing that they'll appreciate. The 6th principle is all about navigating conflict. Conflict is an inevitable part of a relationship, but how we handle it determines whether we become a barrier or an opportunity for growth. So rather than avoiding disagreements or letting tensions fester, addressing a conflict with empathy and understanding can actually strengthen your bonds with others. When you approach this with grace, conflict really does become a chance to deepen communication and reinforce mutual respect. So it's about listening, we talked about active listening, to the other person's perspective and expressing your own feelings clearly to find common ground. This process, it's not about winning or being right. It's about fostering a solution that strengthens the relationship rather than letting it erode away. I put this into practice from the moment I got married with my wife. We've made this agreement that we will not go to bed angry. We will not go to bed if we're in the middle of a fight. We will resolve whatever the thing is. You don't go to sleep until it's resolved. And sometimes it's in the moment, right when it's happening. And sometimes it's as we're getting ready to go to sleep. We're going to solve this right now. We're going to talk through it. And we're going to be emotional. We're going to be vulnerable. We're going to share how we each feel. There's probably going to be tears, and there's probably going to be some making up after. But either way, it's something that we committed to early on that helps us to move past conflict faster and not let things fester or stick around for longer. And so we've made it a point to always focus on that. So you could use all sorts of gifts for this, like patience, emotional intelligence, problem-solving skills. Like, tap into your strengths and allow your approach to difficult conversations. Like, find it through the spirit of collaboration, helping to turn those conflicts into opportunities for a deeper connection. So the action item here is going to be to think about, maybe you have a conflict in your life. How could you approach it using your gifts? How could you seek to understand the other person's perspective? So the number 7, that's where we're at, principle, is about celebrating other successes and milestones. Like, celebrating with someone, like they achieve the goal, they hit a milestone, they experience a small win, like it fosters a genuine connection. You recognize accomplishments. You are showing that you're not only value their presence in your life, but you're also interested in their happiness and growth. No one wants to throw a party and have no one come to it. Let's just be real about that. So the act of celebration strengthens bonds. It builds deeper, more supportive foundation for relationships. And when you share with someone else's joy, it really does reflect your with emotional generosity, I guess. You're not just congratulating them, you're actively participating in their experiences in their life and their successes. So that mutual celebration, it really does create that trust. It reinforces relationships, and it fosters a positive environment for both parties to feel uplifted. It's these moments of shared joy that create lasting memories, and really will deepen your emotional intimacy between each other. Now, in the GIVER method, we celebrate others' successes without envy or comparison is a key way to build and sustain authentic relationships, because it focuses on, shifts the focus from like a self-centered to a shared success, creating this ripple effect of positivity that only strengthens your relationships and enhances your own sense of fulfillment and purpose. Like regularly practicing this, you really do solidify your role as a positive force in other people's lives. Now, I found the more that I celebrate other successes, the more I recognize and appreciate my own. And it's this beautiful cycle of positivity that at the GIVER method, we really do encourage. The action item here is going to be to identify someone in your circle who had a recent win, big or small, doesn't matter, and take time to genuinely celebrate them, whether it's through a heartfelt message, a gesture, or some sort of small celebration. The final principle we're going to talk about focuses on the importance of maintaining healthy boundaries within relationships. Now, that may sound counterintuitive to what we're talking about, but setting clear and respectful boundaries actually strengthens connections. Boundaries establish a foundation for mutual respect where each person understands the limits and needs of the other person. By communicating these boundaries openly, you are creating an environment where both parties can feel safe, they feel valued, they feel free to express themselves without fear or overstepping or resentment. Boundaries, they're not barriers to closeness. They're not preventing the closeness. They're actually a way to ensure that your needs are met while honoring the other person's as well. And when you respect your own limits, you prevent burnout, frustration, or feelings of being taken advantage of. And similarly, when you respect the boundaries of others, you show them that you value their well-being and their autonomy in the relationship. This mutual understanding is going to foster trust and create space for really authentic connections to flourish. Like, I used to think that being a giver meant always saying yes, but I've learned that respecting my own limits allows me to show up more fully in the moments I'm showing up in every relationship. So the action item here is going to be to identify one area of your life where you need to set clearer boundaries. And how could you set a boundary that actually improves the relationship? While you develop these types of things, these principles and such, you are going to come across some challenges. So I'd like to address the challenges real quick. There's a couple that I can think of that pop up a lot. One is going to be the fear of rejection or judgment as you're going through. One is going to be balancing the depth of which you approach certain things. The third is maintaining authenticity in diverse social contexts. I don't know if you've ever heard the term, like you show up differently in different situations to your friends, your family, your coworkers, but how do you show up authentic to everyone? And dealing with non-reciprocal relationships where you feel like you're the only person giving. And remember, these types of challenges, they're normal. And the key is to approach them with patience and compassion for yourself and for others, and find the ways that you can integrate your gifts and superpowers to move the thing forward. Building deeper relationships isn't about being perfect. No relationship will ever be completely perfect. It's about showing up authentically, using your gifts, adding value, and consistently choosing the connection. It's about that vulnerability and listening, celebrating others, and respecting the boundaries, while you're doing that for yourself as well. So start small. Try one of the action items we talked about, or multiple, who knows? I mean, they're all pretty easy to do. And each day, find a way to use a superpower where you can deepen a relationship. Remember, like, your unique gifts and superpowers are your greatest asset to building authentic connections. In fact, you're the only person who has the combination of all the skills and talents and experiences that you have to create your gifts and superpowers. So it is uniquely you. By applying this and the GIVER method, you're not just improving relationships, you're really creating this ripple effect of positive change in your life and in the sphere of influence that you have. If you really wanted to dive deeper into that, if you wanted to go further into that, go to thegivermethod.com, sign up for our newsletter, get on the list for the book that's going to be coming out in a month and a half. And you can also see how we work with people, services we offer, how we do speaking from stage, podcast, things like that. So sign up for the newsletter, get on those types of things. And if this video resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who may need it. Make sure that you followed us, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, the GIVER Method on all of those. And then, of course, make sure you check out thegivermethod.com I hope that we can spread the power of authentic connection, like through giving, as far as we can. So until next time, keep growing, keep giving, and remember that your superpowers are key to building the deeper, more meaningful relationships you desire. So make sure that you're using them wisely. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll catch you in the next video.